Hello everyone and welcome to the Iron Warrior Cosplay Workshop with me, Iron Warrior Cosplay. If you guys can hear anything right now, it's the rain, so I'm going to try and edit that out in the audio if I can, but it's very heavy rain right now, so if it's like dumbed down, then I've managed to quieten it out. I'm in the workshop working on the Iron Warrior, the actual Iron Warrior itself. These aren't false, this isn't false information, this isn't fake news, this is real news. I'm working on the Iron Warrior. He's getting upgrades. Upgrades, people, upgrades.
Upgrades, people, upgrades.
Not that you'll be able to see much of the upgrades, but he'll be different. So, functionally for me mainly, and just so that, you know, it's nicer to wear for longer. So as you saw in my previous videos, the giant block of foam, the way I cut them, the platforms, I've explained all of that. Now to show you the completed article. I've got two of these. This is a welly boot, ratchet strapped to the blocks of foam like I told you. The bottom one is screwed on. The top one isn't. The top one is just there. I was going to contact cement it. I went against the contact cement. I'm just going to use weight of the ratchet straps pulling down. These are very tight, by the way. This one isn't overly tight because my toes will get crushed, obviously, but the back one is like tight. So this here is a Wellington even. Galoshes in American, I'm not sure. Folded downwards, so it's just easy to get my foot in. If you left it the whole height, it would be ridiculous. Some people told me to just cut them off. But this rounded portion is nice and soft. If I cut it, it'd just leave a hard edge. They're super light compared to my old ones. Oh my god. But these are super lightweight, super strong, and I can walk in them very, very well. I did a test walk outside, and the outside here isn't even at all. It's like a track, it's like a farm track. So I walked on that no problem. I did take a long pole with me, but what I did was I put the pole on the ground where I could stop myself, lifted it out of the way, and then just walked without using the pole, just held it. And if I started to go, I could just put it in the ground or lean against it. Didn't have to. It was amazing. So I walked around the workshop, walked around outside. I'm super happy with them. Something I did have to do is imagine this is the bottom of the boots. When I stand, I tend to stand like that. Even in without the space ring, I stand like that. The boot is also here, but instead of lining up perfectly with my foot, it's just slightly off. So instead of like this, it's just slightly off. So my foot is like where I would have it, but the boots go out a little bit more. So when I walk like straight, the boots are slightly out so that I've got that sort of, you know, that's great. But if you do that, you get more surface area and it just works better for me. So yeah, anyway, that is the boots are done. The boots are 100% done. I've got both of them done. They're identical. I'm so happy. Really am. I just can't tell you how happy I am with them. Now, moving on to the thighs. Now, remember, I did mention that I'm going to have to elongate the thighs a little bit and lower them down a little bit because of the new height. So I've done a suit test. It was awful because obviously the new platforms have given me such a decent height now. The thighs have come completely out from behind the knee. So imagine if that's the knee, this is the thigh. The thigh was normally about here, just behind so when I walked, it would just be there. They're now here. So now when if I walk forward, it goes over the top of the knee and then just bends the knee down. So obviously, I knew that could have been an issue. So I wanted to try it anyway. And yes, indeed, I was right. That is an issue. So I've left the shins how they are. I was going to open them up and elongate them and sort stuff out with them, but I've left the shins alone. What I've done is I've elongated the thighs a little bit, longer than what they were. So here's a picture of what they looked like. You can see where I used hot glue and a strip of foam to make them longer. Essentially, I have done the same thing, except they're now longer, but I've used contact cement and I've tried to shape them with the thigh even, so that they just work and look a bit better. Right now, it's currently covered in roof seal and drying, but this is what one of the shins now looks like. So if you look closer, you can see the line. Oh, you can see the line quite clearly. There you go. See that line? So that's the line of the original thigh, like in the pattern. So I followed that with the foam. I put a piece of foam inside it, followed that with the foam. Then I went around it then with a pen and everything, and I cut it to this like exact shape, and then contact cemented on, then hot glued the shit out of the inside. So that's what it looks like. So now they're longer. They look really decent. I've got both of them done. One's drying over there. The one with the knife on it is drying over there. I've got the combat knife here. This is the combat knife. It's a big chunky knife. So that means I've taken them off the trousers. The trousers are now just space pants with the midriff. I don't know if I'm going to have to work on the midriff at all. I'll get to that later when I get to it myself. I can't say anything now because obviously, I don't know. But with that being said, the thighs are now longer. I'll lower them down a little bit. They don't need to be lowered that much because of the length I've added with the foam. I can just lower them down a bit as long as they're not hidden even, but as long as they're behind the knee at least 20%, then when I walk they won't catch and it'll be fine. And even if I do something stupid like lift my leg up, they won't catch or anything. Because that's something that's just my own preference. Every Space Marine, or even if you're a Space Marine cosplay and you're watching this, everyone will have different issues and different problems. So, mine is my thighs weren't long enough. The thighs were long enough before because I had my platforms, but now that I made my platforms taller, I've got to elongate the thighs. So, but that's done. They're drying. They'll be dry tomorrow. I give them 24 hours to dry. Some more sanding and then some filling and then some more painting with roof sealer. And then I'll spray them and try and match them. I might paint the thighs a little bit, try to give it a little bit more pizzazz and change it a little bit. So with that being said, the thighs are going back on exactly the same way they were with the tubes. I've already explained to you about the tubes in the last video, but I have really good news. Today, my delivery arrived of a box of my brand new 8-inch tubes. So I got this huge tube, it's like 10 meters, I think. So I've got plenty of stock there for the future. But this tube system I'm using now, before I was like, oh yeah, they wear, they tear, and they just come apart or whatever. I didn't know that you could get like different durabilities. So it turns out the durability I got was just for like really lightweight. It's got tin foil on the inside, black on the outside, just like the new ones I've got as well. But they're meant to just hang along the ceiling and just stay there. I know that's what tubing is meant to do anyway, but you could get different like sort of toughnesses, if you will, like different durabilities. And this one here is designed to move like an accordion with a piece of machinery. Apparently it's meant to go on for like an extraction, and you can like pull the thing along, and it's meant to come out and follow it, and it's meant to be on like wires, and then when you push it back, it closes. So if it's meant to do that all day, every day at like a sawmill or something like that, I think walking around a Comic-Con is going to be like nothing for them. I took it out of the box. I've done a comparison with my other stuff, and oh my god. So I'm going to test this. These will now be the new ones that come out of the bottom of the thigh. So they'll come out the bottom of the thigh and into the back of the shins, just to hide my legs, like I said before in my previous video. But with this, I want to see if these last half as long as my other ones, the really lightweight ones are just meant to hang and not move at all. If these last half as long as that, then I'm sure as hell gonna get the 10-inch version, which goes in the top of the thighs. I've already shown you guys that in the previous video. If you want to check out the previous video, here's the link to the previous video. So I'm going to do that, and I think that'll be really cool. So I'm going to test this, see what it's like. If it's great, then, fantastic, I'll use that. Now, with my tube system and the thighs, some Space Marines will have their thighs detachable from their Space Marines. You can unclip them, the thighs come off, you just have your space pants, and it's easier to transport and stuff like that. I like to have mine permanently attached, so I use a single piece of webbing and then a piece of webbing in the middle to hold the middle of the tubes together with a cable tie. And the new system now the old system even was I would hot glue them in, and I would hot glue them in. There's a piece of square hot glue on with a piece of webbing inside it. I have just cut that as perfectly as I can on top of the hot glue and left it there. My plan now is to lengthen the strips of webbing so they're like really long, like not stupid long, but like long enough that they're coming out of the bottom of the thighs. I'm going to adjust them to where I need them. So I'm going to like pin them, like I'm going to put some like, large pins or like something in it just to hold it where it is. I'm going to test them out, and if they're great where they are, then I'll mark them all. And I'm going to cut the webbing where I need it, and I'm not going to hot glue it in. I'm going to use 2 coach bolts. For those of you who don't know who coach bolts are rounded top. The top of the bolt is rounded, so you can't get a socket or anything on it. or a screwdriver, and it's a smooth dome. On the underside of that, it's got a square nut, so when it goes into the hole, it stays still, so you can tighten the nut from the other side. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use one of those on the inside, so that I don't get hurt or anything. The bolt will stick out the outside of the shins, and then I'll put a washer and a nylock nut on there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some foam pieces, like some bolts or some cool detail piece or whatever, just to go over it, just to go on the thigh to look like some cool detail, but it'll be hiding those. Obviously, you guys watching this video, you guys will know, and anyone I tell, but it'll just hide the crimes, if you will. It'll just hide. It'll look cool and everything, but it'll hide them. That way, when or if I have to go and change tubes and take stuff out and this, that, and the other, I just have to undo them and take them out. Now, if you're wondering what am I going to do with the detail piece, the detail piece at the top will be 5mm, and I'm just going to put like some dots of super glue there, and if I need to take it off, I'm just going to get a craft knife or something and just run it through it and just break it off and take it off and then sand it down and glue it back on when I need to. That's like no issue at all. The issue I had was having to use the heat gun to take all the glue off, clean all the glue up and everything. A hot glue is a mess. And you have to make sure that you put like metal plates on top so that the webbing doesn't melt all the way up. And it's such a headache. So I'm doing it like this now. It'll just be 2 coach bolts, both sides, done and dusted. That's how the thighs are going to attach now. And I'm really happy with that. Genuinely, I'm really happy with that. So that's what I'm going to do. It's a lot of work. We're already in April. April 14th, I've got a Comic-Con in Swansea. So this has to be ready for that. And it will be. I've got a week and a bit. I've got a week and 6 days or week and 4 days, something like that. So it's not really con crunching because all I have to do is paint these and then put the tubes on and put the webbing on, and then I'm done. It's just getting them sitting where I want to. So that's where there's going to be like maybe 2-3 hours of like, no, I'm not happy with this. Undo the thing, drop it down a little bit, tighten it back up, and just adjust it like that and see where I like it. Once I find the exact spot I want it and it's all done and everything, then I can just mark it all out, do it, drill it, bolt it, done and dusted. Then just go out and like weathering and painting and sanding and just getting it all done up and everything. There's definitely some bits around the Iron Warrior I need to repaint because there's like foam showing through. Like the 2 little like ball things I've got on my belt, they're showing through the pink paint from the ping pong balls. So I'm gonna repaint those. I'm gonna put some roof sealer on them and paint those. But no, I'm really happy with how things are going. The other, like I said, the other thigh is over there. The thigh is here. I've got the boots next to me. The trousers are on the table. I just have to do the tubes, paint this, sand it, sort it. There's there's a long list of stuff to do, but everything is like I could do it all in a day. But I don't want to rush it, obviously. But give me 4 days, I think. I'll probably be done, and I'll do you a full video of how the trousers look. I'll even do you a test fit of just the trousers on me, just to show you guys the trousers on with the legs and everything, and show you how the tubes work and such. If you guys want to know anything, comment below. I'm happily answer you guys. I'm looking forward to your questions and stuff. But like I said, there's many ways you can build a Space Marine. Out there are hundreds of different people who've built Space Marines in different ways. Some of which have been awesome enough to ask me for like, oh, how did you do this? How did you do the shoulder mounting? Like Chris, for example, who's also an Iron Warrior. He's done the exact same system I've done for the shoulders, and he loves it. And I love passing on that information. So, other people may have different ways of doing platforms, or different ways of doing stilts, or different ways of doing this, that, and the other. This is how I've done it. This is how Iron Warrior Cosplay does it. I'm really happy with how things are going. And yeah, eventually, and this is quite a big eventually, I do kind of want to get some brand new, quite softish pads for my orbital sander and my finger sander. Go at like all the little details, all the bits and bobs, all around the Iron Warrior, smooth them all out, filler them, sand them, roof seal them, clean them all, and get him looking seamless, like without anything. Because right now, like for example, if you look at the front of this, right, there's a story behind this, and as you can see, it looks like it's all like, patched up and stuff like that. Well, if you look right here, these 2 lines here, this line here, they're not hard to miss, but this line going all the way down here, and this line going all the way down here, these 2 lines right here going all the way down here, that's where the jigsaw puzzle was for the floor matting, and that's where I joined them together. I should have flip the pattern so that like upside down, so that the jigsaw piece would have been on the back instead, but I didn't. So what I did one day was I wanted to get rid of it, so I took this beading off. I just like took it all with a heat gun and a craft knife. I cut that piece out, took that piece, put it on some foam, put some foam back in, hot glued it in, then added these two pieces to make it look like it's like he's been repaired, and then added these panel lines, all of his panel lines and little dots and stuff all around him. And I've done that on both or whatever. But like I was saying about seams, at the back, there are these very ugly looking seams from the pattern. See where it's just been hot glued? So what I'd like to do, even though these are barely seen, I would very much like to just sand them all down, use a heat gun, get all the glue off, sand it all down with like a new pad. Obviously the pad will get ruined because of the hot glue, but I'll sand it all down, filler the hell out of it, roof sealer it, give it a texture, repaint him, respray him, get that kind of stuff done. Update him, give him a bit of a refresh. I'm already doing that with like the modifications and stuff, but he'll still be the same Iron Warrior. No plans to change him, don't panic. He's not going to get like a complete change where I just build everything again and essentially build a new Iron Warrior. But there was one time where I did go, I've got the foam, I could just build another one. I went like, no, I don't have the space for 2 Iron Warriors and a Grey Knight Terminator. So what I'm going to do is get him to this standard now where, he works together, the platforms are done. That'll be him for quite some time. It'll probably be more weapons for him, if anything. Build some weapons for him. I still want to do the new backpack at some point, and then make the backpack I've currently got a tech marine one. Except it'll be a warp smith even, or a warsmith, or like a chaos tech marine or something like that. But they'll all be Iron Warriors with like a crane and an arm and stuff like that. So I'll be even bigger. But I'm gonna make it so that the backpack can just be unbolted. That can come off, and then the old one can go. Well, the new one even could go back on, so he just has a power pack. I'm gonna go for like a Mark. Well, I wanted to go for like the old style Mark III, I think, with like the diamond pattern on it. And I just really want that. So plans. That's the way it goes. But anyway, this video's been long enough. That is another update for you. There will be another update coming soon when this is complete. I'm not going to do any like subsequent videos or like time lapses and stuff. I'm so busy with this project. To get him ready for the Comic-Con, I just don't have time to do like loads of videos. But at the end of like a work day, I come home, I do this, and then I can film a quick video before going in for the night. So anyway, I've been Iron Warrior Cosplay. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you have any questions, please put them below in the comments, and I will reply when I can. Please like, subscribe. I'm sorry, it's as cringe as anything, but subscriptions and likes and stuff help the algorithm and all that jazz. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you so much again. I shall see you all soon. Bye for now.